so I won't miss. Okay, so let me come again. What exactly I'm doing today is I'm creating some few virtual machines, and we are going to see how disk will be, right? How we can attach a disk, remove the disk, etc. I mean, playing with the disk and snapshots, and if possible, how we can attach one disk to another virtual machine. If we want to migrate some data, or if there are disk, we want to create a virtual machine, right? If we want to swap the OS disk, what is the procedure? So snapshots and restore, how that works. This is our agenda today. So nothing to worry. Whatever the actions that I do today is your actions in your organizations. So whoever in the world, this is has they to they sorry, this is the way they has to do. Simple. In if it is a manual method, right? Because initially we start manual, then we go to automation. So now we are doing these actions manually. So for that, I creating a virtual machine with VM01 and selected a zone. Availability zone is 1, and I'm not attaching any specific disk, etc. And review, create. This will create a virtual machine. And next virtual machine, I'll create in zone 3 or 2. And you asked for the PPT. As I'm unable to send the exact PPT, what I did is I snipped that to a Word document and I sent it today morning. So today you'll get by afternoon or somewhere. I sent it, so you'll get it for sure.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, on right hand side, we see that below start and correlation ID. What is it, sir? Resource ID of this VM or?
No. Correlation ID in the sense, see, each and every deployment will have a unique identification number.
Okay.
For example, if this activity is failing, right? If this deployment, specific deployment is failing, just capture this particular correlation ID, go to the Microsoft, they able to get what you're doing, right? Because they don't have any visibility, right? They don't know what you're adding, what configuration you're selecting. And correlation ID helps them to identify what action you're doing, what configuration you've chosen, etc., etc. So each deployment will have a unique number.
So in order to that, we need to open a vendor case like that, sir.
No, it will helpful. It will helpful if you require any assistance from vendor. Yeah.
Okay.
So let me go to let me go to virtual machine, create another one.
Sir, if we have any issues during this deployment, how we can contact Microsoft through the same portal, Microsoft Azure portal, or do we need to send a mail communication?
Yeah, I'll show you that. But we planned at the latter stage. But I'll show you if you'd like to know. I'll show right away. Let this start. I'll show you. For that, you should have the active pay as you go, right? So with the free account, you can't contact Microsoft support.
Okay.
In your organization, for example, if you're facing any deployment issue or any service is behaving weird or anything, what you can do is on this left hand side, right? help and support. Or we like to type here, right? Just type help plus support. Select this. You can create a support request, new support request. This is one method.
Okay.
Or very simple thing. For example, if we are facing some issue with the virtual machine VM01, right? Every resource, any resource of Azure will have very last one is new support request. Any service in Azure will have new support request. Click on that. It is automatically able to get your resource details, right? So issue type, is it technical? See, automatically my resource also selected. Now it's your turn to give what exactly your issue. Give your issue, summary, problem type, right? Everything. Then it will show some recommendation solutions and additional details will come. No, finally, you'll not agree this to solution that they show because that's not going to resolve your issue. And finally, you'll give additional details of your personal details, right? For example, your name, email ID, phone number, etc., etc. You will give here, and finally, review create. That's what it's going to happen. For example, for even I'm not purchased my VM not booting. Okay, let it be not booting, not listed above. Just to
Got it.
some things, right? So some recommendations. He'll show some recommendations of it. I mean, possible solutions. He'll diagnose and he'll show some possible solutions. This is what the recommendation, etc., etc. Follow this, you will get all the resolution steps, etc. But we don't like to go there. Even we don't see that, right? And we click next and see additional details. So and one more thing, I'm not having any plan, support plan. If I want to take it, cost me for $29 per month because I don't want any support. I'm not taking this. Simple. I'm not taking this. So if I want to raise a ticket, I have to take at least basic, right? So I don't want. Then finally, review create will come in picture. If I click next, after selection of the plan, review complete will come in picture. I'll complete it. Then within 15 minutes, I will get email from Microsoft stating, thank you for contacting us. One engineer will be assigned to your issue and they will contact you. And definitely they'll take 4 to 5 hours for sure. There is no doubt in it. If it is production, um, there will be some SLAs for each and every support, each and every account. They have some SLAs, service level agreements between the customers, right? So there is there will be return time should be some 1 hour, right? Very important customers, they'll pay high and they'll get support to reply them, to answer, to resolve their queries within 1 hour. Some customers will have SLA of 4 hours. Some customers will have SLA of 12 hours, right? One business day. So based on that, they will um, reply to you and they'll sit with you. So it will take some 2 days to 3 days process. It's not going to end in one particular hour. So they'll initially ask some questions, some same questions they'll ask, and you'll give same answers. And they'll analyze. Next day they'll come. They'll ask few more questions. And finally, one fine day, if they know, they'll resolve it. Or else they'll say, this is a bug. Simple.
Okay. Okay.
That much longer process. If we
In real
speak of
time, so in real time, we'll go this process, or we need to resolve ourselves soon. If it's not resolved by ourselves, we need to get support from Microsoft only.
99%, we won't go to them. 99% we won't go to them. Very worst case, we go and they say it is a bug and we are resolving in the next version. That's what happens. But sometimes they'll help, really. Sometimes, right? So it's not like each and everyone should know 100%. Something, someone miss in their life for sure. So that situation, if you contact the Microsoft Azure, they'll help, not an issue. They'll help. So this feature is supported, this feature is not supported. You have to do this, you have to code like this, etc., etc. You can literally go to them, they'll guide you. Initial stage, if you are in initial stage, support will be helpful. Trust me.
Oh, got it.
Okay. So VM1 2 ready. So VM1 belongs to zone 1, it seems. Yes, availability zone in 1, and VM2 is in availability zone 3. Okay. For example, I'm creating a disk directly. Let me take a portal again. Disk is a service, separate service, right? You can select that. We do have two different disks. One is related to VM01, another one is related to VM02. So now you can see the details also. Owner, who's the owner of VM01 and who's the owner? This is VM02. And what is the size of the disk? What is the storage account type that we looked in yesterday? Storage, I mean, premium SSD, LRS, or anything. And what is the location of this particular disk? What is the resource group of the disk, etc. For example, I want to create another disk, VMRC01. That's okay. And disk name, data disk 00. I don't mention VM01 and 02. I'm just creating blind stuff. And availability zone I create in 3, right? So we go for the VM02, and source is nothing. Size, I select some 38 8 GB is okay. And encrypt is nothing. We take it later. That's it. Create. We are creating a disk. I think we looked into yesterday. We created the disk with the virtual machine itself, and we initialized inside operating system, and we managed. Now we are creating as a separate entity, disk itself as a separate one. Done. Now let me go to VM02 and go to disk. There is a left hand side blade. There will be a button like disk, and you can go there and you can attach an existing disk. Click on that. You can select LUN number. So logical unit number, LUN, right? So you can have maximum 64 disk attachment to a virtual machine. This is interview question. Please remember. How many disks that maximum, irrespective of the size, right? Irrespective of the size, how many disks we can go maximum? You can say it is 64. He has to mention irrespective of the size. If they're not mentioned irrespective of the size, then you can say it's based on the size that we selected, right? For example, B2MS support 2 disk, and you can go maximum 2 only. That's what you can. And one more thing, this LUN number gives the order inside operating system. LUN 0 will be the first disk in the data. LUN 1 will be the second disk in a order. So you can see this disk in order inside operating system. Just a moment, I'll be back. Yeah. So, and one more thing you have to remember is this gives the order. Whatever the lowest number will give first, right? 0 will show as a first disk, 1 will show as a next disk. That's what the order it follows. And you can select the disk. It is showing whatever we created, right? Data disk 00, if you remember. And it is of 8 GB premium LRS that we selected. You can select this and you can save. This will attach a disk to this particular virtual machine. And let's go to VM01. Attach a disk. Are you able to see the disk? Why? Can someone tell me why?
We selected three zone.
Okay, anyone? That's not the right answer. Correct.
I
Yeah,
think a zero,
no,
number
that's
zero.
what the correct answer. Because see, zone, we have to know the concept first. It's like zone will have multiple data center, and these zones are literally geographically some far. How we can add a disk which is in the different zone? It is not possible, right? So physically it is separated. You have to understand this. Physically it is separated. It's not the logical separation, physical separation. If it is logical separation, you can do that, simple. So that's what. And so it can't show here. Okay, for example, there is a requirement. There is a requirement. Okay, let me attach to it and store some data. Then you'll we do a migration as well. Now we migrate this to we attach this to VM01. I'll show you how we can do that. Let that add. Okay, so it is attached to the virtual machine. Let me take the PIP, public IP, MSTSC or remote desktop. It's up to you, whatever you can type. And you can give the public IP, username, and your complex password. And one more thing, not only me, because I'm having public IP, I'm logging in my using my personal laptop. Even you can log in if you have username and password of this public IP. Public IP is available to everyone in the world. Simple. Let that load completely and we start.
Any monitoring about this, like who is logging this server, who is like Shankar?
Monitoring in the
Because
sense?
public IP access anywhere. No? That's why.
No, that's why in production we won't encourage public IPs. Just for the demonstration, we are using that's it. In public, we'll have a bastion host or any jump host concept or simple. Even unlike the bastion or jump host, you will have a VPN, virtual private network. I will show you. I think that is what the very last session for us. So I'll directly access with private IP from my laptop. I'll install some VPN certificates. So that's what some advanced concept. I think that's what the last concept as well in our session.
I think they log in username and password through.
Come again?
I think provide username and password for VPN like that.
Yeah,
Login
yeah.
and access.
There will be. Yeah. Certificate. Using
Yeah.
certificate, we can do using username and password. I think many of you working in an organization, right? So you must know it how VPN will work. VPN will be installed with some username and password or a certificate, anything.
Okay.
So yeah, okay. This is what the virtual machine we created. As usual, you don't see the data disk for sure. If you go to this PC, temporary disk, this is not data disk, not our data disk of 8 GB. If we want that, we have to go computer management. I don't know, this is taking too much time. Computer management. And you can go to disk management. And first you can, I think someone's speaking, but your voice is very breaking. I don't know. First, we initialize the disk. Okay. Later, we create simple volume out of it. Select your volume, whatever the volume label you want, and let it be data disk 00. And next, finish. This is what. First and foremost thing what you do is create a folder, etc., etc. Even I do the same. New folder, important data, right? IMP data. I just created some folder, and we need to put some data. I don't know from where. Maybe desktop nothing. This PC C drive. Okay, D drive we do have some data. Okay, let me put this. Control C. I put this inside D drive. That's it. So I copied some notepad and I pasted it. So now, due to some reason, my teammate asked, my customer asked to migrate this particular detach, sorry, migrate the data inside this particular disk and to the VM01. How that is possible? We have to think about the possibilities first, because we separated that VMs in two different zones, right? Two different zones. There is no possibility of attaching same disk. Try to understand. There is no possibility to attach same disk. Then what we do? We can simply go to the virtual machine and we can go to the disk, or else we have disk right here. We can go to the disk view, and data disk 00. What you can do is create a snapshot. Snapshot is another important service which actually point in time backup. Point in time. Try to understand. If I'm creating a snapshot for this disk, for example, I started now, clicked and created a snapshot, right? So where I want in this particular subscription, in this particular resource group, and what is the name of the snapshot? Data disk 00 snap, right? Data disk 00 full, right? Complete. I want to source subscription, source disk, right? If you want zone redundant, etc., etc., right? You can simply select whatever you want, and you can migrate this to different subscription. Try to understand. Snapshot can be make to the different subscription. Try to understand. So this is target. And next, encrypt is okay. Fine. Let me create it. So because I'm creating a snapshot now, whatever the data in that particular disk, right, that will be copied at this point of time. At this point in time, whatever the data that particular disk contains will be copied as a snapshot. Snapshot means Xerox, exact copy or clone, anything you take the word, right? So exact copy of that particular time. Now we enable, right? For example, now I go to that particular disk and added one more notepad, new data, for example. Is this going to reflect in the snapshot that I already taken? No, because on that particular time, right? On that particular time, what exactly I taken as a copy, that's it. So now I will create a disk, create a new disk, and here I can select what is the resource group, what is the disk name. Now I create VM hyphen data disk 00. That's it. VM1, VM01. And here I will select availability zone. I think availability zone 1. Yeah. This is what source subscription. This is what the size. That's it. And rest everything. And review, create. So now I'm able to create in zone 1. Try to understand. And I want to show you whether new file will be visible in that particular disk or not. No, because that's a point in time copy. It's just as simple as some Xerox. If you're Xeroxing a document now, it comes as it is. Later, if you modified anything on the document, it will not reflect on the Xerox. Simple. If you want that modification, take another Xerox. Someone speaking, but it's literally not audible. Is that to everyone? I don't know. Maybe Varun Kumar, are you speaking? I think it seems you. I'm unable to hear anything. It's like literally breaking. I mean, 90% breaking your voice. Okay. So leave it. So now we go to VM01. We go to disk and attach existing disk. No problem. It is not refreshed. Or else I can refresh this entire page. Sometimes this portal behaves like this. Nothing to worry. This is daily routine to me. See, now it is displaying VM01 data disk 00. That's what, and save it. And we log into this virtual machine also. We'll see. You have to confirm, right? So MSTSC and paste your IP. Give username. Someone asking, like Varun Kumar, yeah, can we access this public IP from any third-party tool? Okay, how tool will manage? I mean, is that yes, 100%? Answer is yes. Any internet-enabled thing, right? So only the requirement is internet should be there. Yes, it can be accessible, but we have to know the purpose, why we are reaching, which tool we are trying to reach. We can reach, but there is no doubt in it. So see, data disk 00 is listed because we took exact copy of that particular other disk which is already having some configuration details in it, right? That's why it is directly mounted as a disk. And see, IMP data, what it contains, old data. It really not contains new data, isn't it? So let me show you. Here there will be new data. It will not list because it will not show there, because the Xerox is happened before this particular data insert to the disk. Simple. So this is how, if we want to migrate a disk from one zone to another zone, we will take help of the snapshot and we will complete that particular migration. What we call this particular situation is migration. Simple migration. And For example, okay, we can create a data disk, we are migrating. Let me tell you one thing. I want to swap, for example, um, okay, I'll tell you another use case for the snapshots. I'll tell you one real case scenario. For example, I'm working as a Microsoft Azure cloud administrator. I do have operating system, and operating system contacted me. Generally they do have some patching activity, etc., etc., right? So they contacted me. We are having by 12 p.m. today some patching activity. Can you please take some snapshot? Why? Before they ask, I'll tell you why they are asking. Why they are asking is, if you are playing with the registry, if you are playing with the snapshot, sorry, patching activities or any other critical actions might cause operating system issues, right? Operating system might go blue screen of the death, purple screen of the death, or anything might hung, or black screen, anything, right? So it may corrupt if you are touching crucial configuration. If any think that we done some mistake, our virtual machine is gone, our operating system is gone. For that reason, generally any crucial activity like patching, Windows patching or Linux patching, or any registry settings, if they are touching any registry settings or etc., etc., what they ask us is, can you please take a snapshot? So 12 p.m. today, we do have a patching activity, and OS team contacted me to take a snapshot. Then what I do, for example, this is related to virtual machine 1, right? For example, this is related to virtual machine 1. I go to the virtual machine 1 disk. I'll find, okay, there are 2 disks. Let us go to OS disk. This is OS disk, and create a snapshot. I'll create one snapshot. Name VM01 OS disk before snapshot. Let it be. I don't mind anything. Review create. This will create a snapshot, and you have to remember this is point in time. Okay, snapshot. I have taken one snapshot, and I have to take another snapshot as well. Virtual machine 01. There will be data disk. For example, if they asked, if they are not asked if they mentioned OS disk alone, okay, we'll take OS disk alone. If they are not mentioned any disk, we take both disk, right? If they ask us to take the snapshot for the entire virtual machine, you have to find all the disk and you have to enable the snapshot for all the disk. So VM01, VM01, data disk 00, snap before. Let it be snap before activity or before snap. I mean, meaning is it's not before snapshot. I mean, before the activity, the snapshot. I'm not sure how I given for the previous one, but that's what my intention. Okay, this is also started. Let me go to snapshots. Snapshot also a separate service. You can go there. Oh, before snapshot, before activity and snapshot. That's what my intention. Okay, so we enable the disk snapshot of VM01. For example, for example. Now, operating system team, what is the IP? 187. I think this is the one. Yeah. Operating system team went there and they corrupted some data. Maybe somewhere, maybe something. Maybe they corrupted something. To prove as a corruption, I'm deleting this. Empty recycle bin. Yes. And what we can change, right? So we can do some new folder on the desktop which goes to the C drive. This changes belongs to C drive. Data deleted. For example, I'm just making a folder, right? If there is any folder, I can delete. If there is no folder, I'm creating one folder and mentioning data deleted. That's it. OS team did some changes. Here now I closed the RDP. Now it is not required. So OS team did some changes. Here there are two scenarios. If the OS team change successful, whatever the patching they are doing, whatever the registry setting they are touching in, right? If it is went well, change is successful, then they'll ask me, Bas, okay, please delete the snapshots, whatever you taken. Very simple. Whatever you taken, please delete. Then what I do, I come here, select the snapshot and delete the snapshot. Scenario 2. No, we somehow something, the operating system, entire operating system is crashed. Then what we do, they'll ask us, change is failed. Please roll back to previous snapshot. Please roll back to previous snapshot. Then I'll come in picture and I'll go to the virtual machine. I go to disk, and here two things we have to change. Remember, two things we have to change. One is operating system disk, another one is data disk. Before touching that, two things I have to do. OS disk I have to convert as a disk, normal disk, because we can't attach the snapshot directly to the virtual machine. Anyhow, we have to convert that snapshot to disk. First, we convert OS disk. Click on the OS disk, create new disk, disk name VM01 OS disk 01. Let it be. And availability zone, yes, you have to remember VM01 is in zone 1. Don't forget that to mention review create.
And this is zone 3.
Yeah. No, but we are dealing only with the VM01. It belongs to zone 1. And second disk as well. We have to restore second disk also. I mean, we have to create a second disk from snapshot.
Yes.
Yeah, it's done. Then go to snapshot again. Data disk, VM01 data disk, create disk. VM01 data disk new 0. Let it be, because data disk 00 already there. So availability zone 1 and review create. Okay, so this is it. Now we go to the virtual machine, because we let me refresh. Sometimes this will irritate, right? So I'll refresh the browser. So I go to the disk. First, this disk I will detach. Just close will detach. It will not delete the disk. Please remember, it will not delete the disk. It will detach. Detach in the sense removing from the virtual machine, save it. Removing from the virtual machine, Save it. First data disk we removed and we add it later. New disk we add it later. First we'll add the OS disk, or vice versa. First you can swap the OS disk, later you can swap this particular data disk. It's up to you how you want to take. There is no, it's not a crime. Order is not a crime. So swap OS disk. Click on that. If you want to swap OS disk, this is the way. Select VM1 OS disk 01. This is what we restored. We literally restored from snapshot. Select that and you have to give the confirmation of the VM1, because try to understand what happens by this action. If you are doing this action, the OS will be stopped first, deallocated. Operating system will be deallocated. My actual situation is OS team itself, they confirmed me to restore the OS disk and data disk. That means they are saying me, okay, we are okay, even if the virtual machine is stopped. Before you do, for example, if I were you, what I do in this particular situation is, before swapping, as soon as I receive that email or ticket comment, I will reply them stating, boss, you're asking data disk and operating system disk restore from the previous snapshot. Is it yes or no? First question. If yes, there will be VM will be down during the OS disk swapping. Are you okay with that or not? And if there is any data configured to the data disk, that will be disconnected. Are you okay with that? If they are okay with that, I'll tell you this will take approximate 30 minutes and I'll come back to you after replacement. This is what the procedure. We have to let them know, right? People will be there in their assumptions. We should not give any chance that comes on our escalation, right? It's our duty. We have to say OS disk swap will literally stop the virtual machine and start the virtual machine. Please remember what we are doing. We are literally removing main hard disk of your laptop and putting new one without shutting down. Is it possible? No, not at all. Right? Whatever the applications that is running inside will be impacted. But here our situation, OS team itself confirmed to do that, then we are good to go. But we have to give this caution. It will take half an hour time and it will involve the operating system downtime. This will delocate and it will start again, right? So you have to mention these words and you have to click OK. See, first action, what it doing? Stopping virtual machine. It will go and stop the virtual machine, then only it will stop and it will leave. It won't start the virtual machine, right? If you clicked on this and you assume that it will start and you go somewhere, that's it. This will be in shutdown state only until unless you press to start. So I'll show you, let this happen. Now it is swapping the OS disk. First it is stopped, then it will swap. So I think it is swapped now. Refresh. Yeah. VM01 OS disk 01 is the latest disk that we restored from the snapshot. One more thing we have to do, create and attach. No. Attach an existing disk because we converted that from snapshot. So VM01 data disk 00 is not the one. New 00 is the one. Select that, save it. Now, see, it is in stopped state. It is in stopped deallocated state. You have to start it manually. Let the disk attachment done, then we can start. Yeah, it's done. Start it. Now operating system will start. Where we can, Varun Kumar, right? Yeah. You can find activity logs on the left hand side blade. Very next one. Under overview, you can find activity log. You can see whatever the actions that I am performing, right? This guy is performing these actions. You can literally see delete, deallocate the virtual machine, create or update the virtual machine, right? This is what I'm literally doing in. With my email ID, everything will be recorded. I'm not there to escape. I am unable to escape. Simple. Let this happen. Yeah, running. If I go to, if remember, I have literally deleted the data in D drive and I created new folder on the desktop, data deleted, something like that. So let me go to, let me take the remote desktop. So during that time, OS team, during that time, OS team did created some folder in a desktop and they deleted some disk data in the disk. So consider that is done by OS team, and let's see whether that data is there or removed. See, in the desktop, there is no folder like data deleted, something like that. See, it is reporting some abrupt shutdown is happened. Ignore it because we want to done that. And in File Explorer, they deleted this folder itself. If you remember, they deleted entire folder, but we are able to restore the data because during the snapshot processor, this data, sorry, this data is there. So that's what it's instant backup. Snapshot is a solution of instant backup. We can restore the data from the snapshot. Is it clear or any doubt on the today's session?
Yes, sir, I have a few queries.
Yeah.
So first we have migrated the disk from one VM to the another VM, which are in different
We migrated from one zone to another
one
zone.
zone to another.
Yes. Yeah.
So if is it possible to detach the disk and can we change the zone for that disk and we can attach the change the zone and we can attach to the another VM?
Okay, what you're saying is okay, from VM2 is in zone 3.
Yeah.
We wanted that disk in the VM1, but unfortunately VM1 is in zone 1.
Yes.
And we migrated that using help of the snapshot. Whether
Yeah.
we can do the vice versa, is that your question? From
Uh,
VM1 to VM2?
no. So the same disk instead of creating a
No,
snapshot.
no. It is not possible. It is not possible. I mean, across the zone. No, you have to depend on the snapshot for sure. There's no doubt in it.
Okay.
If you want to migrate to the different resource group, if you want to migrate to the different subscription, there is a migration procedure. But if you want to move from the one zone to another, no, you have to depend on the snapshot for sure.
And one more thing, and one more query from my end.
Yeah.
So actually, VMware team, they will take a snapshots at VM level. So
Yes. Yes.
here we are taking a snapshots of OS disk. Is this the same or different?
Sorry. Yeah, it's the same. Concept is same.
Okay, okay. And
But VMware snapshots, if you see, you can take a snapshot on one snapshot, right? So first snapshot one will be taken. You can enable one more snapshot, which takes the changes from snapshot one only. You can have multiple snapshots on one particular virtual machine. It's not the case here. Here, it's towards individual disk. You getting my point or no?
yeah, I got it.
There it is for the entire virtual machine. You can have multiple snapshots. For example, one single virtual machine, you can have a snapshot 1, snapshot 2, snapshot 3, snapshot 4, right? You can
Yes.
restore to any snapshot. Here the situation is, it's like if you can take a number of snapshot, but that will create as a separate entity, not related one with another. If you see in VMware, it is related one with another.
Oh,
If you want to commit that, you have to come from the end to beginning. So yeah.
so got it. So that is, those are incremental snapshots.
Yes. Yes.
So here we don't have a concept
Even
of.
here we can have incremental snapshots. Incremental is there, but we are dealing here towards the disk. Individual each and every snapshot is a resource. Simple.
Got it. And here we have, when we are restoring the data disk. So before activity, we have taken snapshot of the data disk, and the OS team comes to us. The data has been deleted in the data disk, and we are performing the restoration of the data
That's
disk.
it. That's it. By creating new disk
Yeah.
and swapping. Yeah.
Yeah. In such a case, the VM has stopped, right? So when we attaching the new disk, creating creating a new disk from the snapshot, and that disk attaching. So that time I see that the VM has stopped, and manually we have started it.
Yeah.
So so attaching the disk, additional disk to the VM, so that causes interruption or shutting down the OS.
No, let me tell you. Data disk, it's really not required any downtime. It won't impact anything on the operating system. While we swap the operating system disk, it has to stop. There is no other way, possibility, because you're removing operating system disk, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, during operating system disk swap, it will happen. Let me show you. If I'm changing this, for example, I want to detach, save. I detached it. It is not causing anything to the operating system. Try to understand. It will impact if I click on the swap. See, the VM will be stopped, etc., etc. OS disk only causes, OS disk swap will cause virtual machine downtime.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if here we have detached, right? So in the when we logged into the server, that disk will disappear in the OS, right?
Oh yes, yeah, that will go. I think it's not there. I think I closed that RDP. Yeah, it will go. It will disappear. There is no connection in it.
Okay.
Abruptly, it is disappeared. Yeah.
Oh, got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. So, anyone before we wind up today? Okay, then we'll wind up. Thank you. Thanks for your time. And tomorrow also we play with the virtual machines. So yeah, we'll see.